Star Citizen Alpha 3.13.1 is now live. This is the Fleet Week Ready patch, so you'll want to download this in preparation for Fleet Week if you're a current Star Citizen player. If you're waiting to play during the free fly though, on the 22nd, you'll need to download the game then. There's no preloading for those folks, unfortunately, at the moment, as far as I'm aware. But all the Fleet Week content is basically in this patch. However, it's disabled, and it will be enabled at 4 PM UTC Friday the 21st of May. But there's a load of additions in this patch which are enabled and available now. Let's take a look at the patch notes and additions to the game here. The Crusader, Hercules, Starlifter, C2 and M2, hugely anticipated ships are here, as well as the Tumbrel Nova. Now, you have to own them to actually be able to use them at the moment, so you'd have to have bought them. They will be available during Fleet Week to free fly. To test for free when they're at the expo hall, and you're also able to buy them while the sale is on. Loads of ships are going to be on sale during Fleet Week, so just remember that. That massive hauler is great fun, but also the Tumbrel Nova tank that's been added. A big fun tanky tank. Not much reason to use ground vehicles in the game yet, but it is actually probably the coolest ground vehicle we've got by some margin. Ship to station docking was added. The ability for players to dock large ships to docking ports at space stations, including various related work, such as having the air traffic control assign you docking ports where appropriate, new docking connectors, and new lobbies in the space stations for large ships to connect to. This initial implementation will give access to the 890 jump and the hammerhead only at the moment, so players can ASOP spawn or hell stations instead of landing basically at them, and you'll be assigned a little docking port, boop, fly towards it, and then either sort of manually connect to the docking collar, or when you get close enough, you can hold N. That will auto land you. I recommend people do that for the first couple of times when they are using the docking collars to dock to a station. Armistice violation changes. They've changed the armistice violation to give no grace warning and now generate multiple infractions in a very short period of time if needed, if violations are persistent. So this increases the duration of armistice violations and aggravated vehicle damage so that it remains on a player's record for longer as well. This is in aid of hopefully curbing some unwanted behaviour during Fleet Week and around stations like Port Olisar just in general. Don't want people griefing or doing heavy PvP for new players that are learning how to, dock and undock. Location security response will now be more aggressive based on criminal heat in an area. They've updated cockpit glass wear effects on the Hornet and all its variants. There is an ongoing Carrack performance optimization pass as well. They've added a new Arena Commander mode, 1v1 duel mode, so hopefully a lot of people will get into that. I'll be taking a look at that in a bit more detail in the future. Although there was no long-term persistence wipe for the database, so you should have your items and ships and all that sort of stuff carried across. There was a bit of an advisory warning and information sort of blurb here, a public service announcement, if you will. General changes to what isn't stored in the LTP long-term persistent database are ongoing. Certain items, such as merits, consumables, and ammunition, may be removed in this release and into 3.14. We know that Cloud Imperium are trying to keep your assets and progress between patches, but it isn't always going to be the case. There will be wipes in the future as well. Bear that in mind, it is alpha. Sometimes, even if your mate got all this stuff transferred across, you might not, which is a little bit annoying, but it is sort of, yeah, it's an alpha. However, you won't lose any ships you purchase with real money. They will always be on your account, and if they're not, check their known issues and that sort of stuff, and go on to the support.orbitspaceindustriescom page to check to see if there's something you can do. Maybe resetting your account can help, things like that. And if not, contact customer service and go, help, my actual real purchased money ships have gone, and they should help you. The patch did fix a load of major issues. So they fixed an issue that could cause Star Citizen to crash immediately after pressing launch button, and an issue causing improper and inconsistent collision between the ground and cover, like small vegetation having collision, large rocks having no collision, and vehicles and all that sort of stuff. Accounts with large personal inventories should no longer cause server performance issues when joining a game. The 300 series should now be having all its customizations in the game that it's supposed to have. Players should no longer experience an infinite loading screen for various reasons. Chat should no longer be partially off-screen on super or ultra-wide displays. All missions that take players to underground facilities will no longer withdraw when approaching them. Freelancers should have their turrets be working and not limited in motion, and they should be aligned correctly as well. Players should no longer be able to steal other players' ships or ship AI and push ships through collisions using gravity on the 890 Jumps hangar. This isn't a removal of all sort of ship stealing or anything like that. It's very specific cases of janky stealing, if you see what I mean. Signed distance field shields should no longer allow damage penetration while the ship is at speed. So shields work again, and well. The refuel and rearm services at New Babbage should now function correctly. The Doc Merlin on the pirate constellations should no longer be friendly and give players a friendly fire warning during combat. Drake Buccaneer landing gear should no longer disappear when retracted and should be visible when deployed. Landing gear should now animate correctly on all freelancers. The Spear of Talon should sit properly and not clip its nose into landing pads. Pushing a trolley up a ramp of a constellation should no longer cause the player to speed up while going over the ramp. Players should no longer be able to take other players' medpens from their suits by interacting with them. I loved the pickpocketing though. Wallace Clem should no longer spawn away from his table facing the wrong way. Chairs in the dining area of the Reclaimer should no longer be placeholder models. The open and close toggles for doors on the Rock DS should now function properly. There should no longer be 2 exit prompts in the turret seat of the Rock DS as well. They fixed an issue causing the Grey Cat normal Rock to not receive as much damage as intended when a mineable explodes near it. The vehicle barrier in the Carrack should now be able to be closed after raising it, and the side turret seats for the ship should no longer be missing its orange highlight. The Hammerhead elevator should now no longer collide with the landing bay at Port Olisar, which caused the ship to move. The Gladius ladder door should now animate properly and close. You can no longer leave trolleys in doorways as sort of doom death landmines that erratically kill players as they jank around. Attempting to place food or drink in New Babbage should no longer sometimes cause the player to consume it instead. Hom nom nom nom. They fixed an issue causing minables to not spawn on Ariel. Players' clothes should no longer clip through undersuits when viewing the Personal Manager app on the Mobiglass. They fixed an issue causing some moons to have surface temperatures of 0 degrees and apply no environmental or temperature effects to players. Localized text should no longer be present when right-clicking a party channel. Stowing a weapon and walking at the same time should no longer send the weapon back into the player's hands. The Anvil Hawk wingtips should no longer be missing sign distance field shields, which is good because, you know, you want to be able to use that ship and not for it to instantly explode or the wings to fall off. Talon and Talon Strikes should now be able to be bought in the game, which is good. They fixed 13 client crashes and 6 server crashes. They fixed 4 main thread deadlocks. They fixed multiple back-end service crashes, and they made a back-end service performance optimization, or optimizations. However, there are still a few known issues that you'll want to avoid if you can. Some of them are actually pretty game-breaking when you encounter them. Cursor can remain visible and isn't constrained to the game window, which can have you clicking out of the game sometimes, which is not ideal. Some items can be missing after updating the game, character resetting, or changing your pledge. Only 50 contacts are shown in game at the moment, regardless of how many phones you have in Spectrum. Abnormally long delays between picking up and storing of minables, harvestables, and other FPS items. There's ship positional desync. That is not great. I want the desync to be gone ASAP. Meeting Miles Eckhart, the first time you properly meet him, it's not working, so you can't access that set of missions properly. Swapping FPS weapons can have you drop the weapon on the floor. Medical pens, or medipens, are not healing blood loss, which means you will die sometimes, even after you've medipenned yourself. Oxygen is depleted while sitting in a ship. Hopefully that's just a warning for that, rather than you just like suffocating even with a helmet on. Getting crime stats for killing lawful bounty targets is something that's happening, which does sometimes cause a lot of annoyance when you're trying to do bounty missions and become a criminal yourself. Mission target NPCs are not loading in and taking a long time to load when an objective is reached. Not all the time, but sometimes. The customizable nameplates do not appear on various skin variants for ships. On landing pads, trolleys are unable to be pushed or pulled up entryways, cargo ramps, or elevator ramps. Constellations can despawn if you fly over 30 kilometers away from them with your P-52 or 72. Docking with a moving constellation can cause jankiness and snapping. Try and actually dock with them. Trolleys found in Area 18 can clip through the floor, removing the functionality, and players can spawn facing the wrong way at the start of the match or after dying in Arena Commander. So, a couple of other things I want to mention. Spawn lockers were supposed to be in this patch, as far as I was aware, but I don't see a specific listing for that, nor implementation of that properly in game yet. Maybe it's going to be used for the Ninetales lockdown after Fleet Week or something. Actually, thinking about it, I think they might be using them for the Javelin Tour, maybe. So we might see that being used in Fleet Week. So, yeah, okay. We'll see what happens there. Commodity alerts are in this patch too. but are not mentioned in these notes. You'll be able to see items that are over or understocked in your Mobilglass and make better trade decisions. Go, oh, actually, this is quite cheap, or this people want to have this and they're paying more for it in this area. So you might be able to do some interesting trade and commodity runs. Also remember that during Fleet Week, there might be a bit more going on with the economy as well. So you might see some more cargo and trading opportunities. They might be increasing the sort of demand for some of these cargo runs and that sort of stuff. So hopefully a bit more of a dynamic economy and a few more opportunities for cargo running coming soon. Not just in this patch, because there's a little bit here for sure, but hopefully something to make it a bit more worth your while during Fleet Week as well. So how is the patch? Well, I've only had limited playtime on the live build. It's significantly more stable, from what I can see, than the 3.13 rollout. No server or client crashes for me yet, but I've only had maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours actually in the game. Performance seems very good. Desync's not ideal. I didn't see it myself, and I wasn't having problems with missions spawning either. I was able to do a couple of bounties without any problem. The known issue list, however, is a bit of a kick in the groin. There's a lot that is avoidable there, and I have not seen personally affect my game. But if you're experiencing your missions not loading in properly, or having lots of problems with desync and that sort of stuff, or clicking out of the game repeatedly, that's not going to be great. If you want to do Mars Eckhart missions, you're like, oh, well, I can't do this Mars Eckhart mission. So Cloud Imperium need to sort this out ASAP, some of these things. They could deploy hotfixes, they might have a little mini patch. I want to be able to grind bounties without worrying about getting a crime rating. That'll be nice, wouldn't it? But the main thing, actually, I think, is that they're ready for Fleet Week. And are they ready for Fleet Week? Well, kinda. Yeah, as I said, I want some of those known issues dealt with. Anything that restricts game access, prevents you playing bits of the game, prevents you from loading into the game or doing something in the game. Anything that's super heli janky, that's just like, ugh, which is sometimes a thing in Star Citizen. Yeah, they need to resolve those things. However, having the servers in a good state and having new players and backers being able to join and log in and have fun, that is the most important thing for this patch and for Fleet Week. And last year, they sort of failed to do that. The servers imploded at the start. Now, Fleet Week is starting on Friday 21st, and then the day later is the Free Fly event. That's when it starts. That's a good idea, because if there's any problems, bam, they can hopefully get some of them solved. We'll likely know if they have done good in the next 48 hours or so. It's looking promising for sure. I'm really excited for Fleet Week. This is a solid patch, at least it looks like at the moment. And that's it for your 3.13.1 live PT patch dates for this time. But what do you think? Have you tried it yet? Good? Bad patch? Any bugs that are fixed that you previously were experiencing? Any new ones that you're like, this has ruined my game? Are you ready for Fleet Week? Do you think Cloud Imperium are ready for Fleet Week? Do you think it's going to be crazy when lots of new players come into the game and try it? Do you think the servers will be able to manage with it? Or do you think it's going to be a ship show? Do you see what I did there? Because it is going to be a ship show. Because it's Fleet Week and there's an expo of ship. Anyway, whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Oh, what's this? I just found all your search history online. You filthy boy, buying spaceships and going on Ship Hub. Zin, show a picture of a sexy ship or something. You should have used NordVPN. It's a VPN, obviously, and it has my seal of approval because I chill for them. Use the links below to get a discount and help protect your data, identity, privacy, and to help with online accessibility. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For May, it's for a Crusader Hercules Starlifter. It's a big boy cargo and ground vehicle transport ship that you can expect to be added to the game by the end of the month. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much to my channel members who have pressed the join button below my videos and my Patreons as well. Going the extra mile really, really helps the channel. Say thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Consider becoming a channel member or Patreon as well, and maybe you'll get some poorly photoshopped naughty spaceship shots. Ooh, saucy. Thanks for watching and all your support.